Social Security is in trouble. Not in the way the headlines want to scare you, but in a much deeper, long term, structural way that very few people are really talking about. And right now, there's a new twist grabbing attention. A program that sounds innocent enough, baby savings accounts, is sparking outrage and fueling fears that Social Security might be on the path to privatization. But here's what most people aren't telling you. If you're paying attention now, you'll not only understand what's really going on, you'll know how to financially prepare for a future where Social Security may not look anything like it does today. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll have a clear sense of whether your benefits are truly at risk, what this so-called baby account program is, and what smart moves you can make today to stay ahead. Now, if you're on Social Security or planning to be soon, you are the person this video is for. You've likely been worried about what's happening in DC, the budget talks, the trust fund depletion forecasts, the endless back and forth about reform. You've probably seen sensational headlines. But what you want, what you need, is the truth without the drama, and a plan that helps you feel a little more in control of what happens next. That's exactly what this is. So let's be real about the value here. If you watch until the end, you'll not only learn what the Treasury Secretary actually said that set off this firestorm, you'll also walk away with a real insight into how Social Security's future is shaping up and what financial independence could look like for the next generation. Most importantly, I'll show you how this new baby account program might actually signal a bigger shift in how we think about retirement in America. This isn't hype. This is about securing your future in a system that's already changing. And real quick, if you're someone who wants the truth without the fluff and you care about your benefits and financial future, make sure you're subscribed. These updates are made for you, not the headlines. So let's dive in. Here's what happened. On July 4th, a major bill was signed into law, one that includes a new provision for what's being called baby savings accounts. These accounts will be created for every child born between January 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2028. Each account will be automatically funded with $1,000 from the federal government. Over time, families and others, like grandparents or even friends, can contribute up to $5,000 per year into these accounts. The funds will be invested in stock market index funds and become accessible when the child turns 18. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? A nest egg for the next generation. But what triggered a political storm was a comment from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent suggesting this could be a backdoor into privatizing Social Security. And that set everything on fire. Lawmakers from both sides quickly jumped on the remark. Some accused the administration of trying to dismantle Social Security under the radar. Others claimed it was proof of a long-term plan to steer Americans away from traditional retirement safety nets. The reality, though, is more complicated, and frankly, more important to understand than most people realize. Let's clear up the facts first. There is no current legislative move to privatize Social Security. That would require massive congressional action and support, something there's currently no political appetite for. But that doesn't mean this isn't a signal of change. It is. Because the reality is, Social Security as we know it is financially strained, and politicians know they have to do something. This program was built almost 90 years ago, and the math no longer works the way it used to. According to the latest Social Security Trustees report, the program's trust fund is projected to become insolvent in just over 6 years. At that point, if Congress does nothing, benefits could be cut by roughly 24%. That's not fear-mongering. That's straight from the official numbers. And if you fast forward even further, 20, 30, 60 years from now, the system will look drastically different if it exists in anything like its current form. He wasn't necessarily suggesting current retirees are at risk, but what he hinted at, whether he meant to or not, was that for the next generation, the government may be laying the groundwork for something different. And that's worth paying attention to. Let's zoom out for a second. Imagine a child born in 2025. By the time they turn 18 in 2043, that child's account, if maxed out annually and well invested, could contain over $600,000. That's assuming market growth and consistent contributions, of course. But it shows you what's possible. Now imagine that same child waiting another 50 years for Social Security. What are the odds that in 2093 the system looks anything like it does now? Zero. In fact, this baby account could very well be a trial balloon for something bigger, a shift away from government guaranteed retirement and toward individual responsibility. It's not officially replacing Social Security, but it is creating an alternate path for retirement funding. And here's where the emotional piece comes in. For many Americans, Social Security isn't just a check, it's the lifeline that allows them to retire with dignity. So anything that threatens that is going to create fear. And understandably so. But here's the real impact. If you're already in or approaching retirement, you are almost certainly safe. Your benefits are not going anywhere. The political risk of cutting current retirees' checks is too high. But if you're younger, or you're thinking about your kids or grandkids, then this matters a lot. Because this signals that the safety net future generations can expect is going to look a lot more like personal investment accounts than monthly guaranteed checks. And now let's clear up a big misconception. People are saying that the baby accounts mean Social Security is being privatized today. That's false. These accounts are not Social Security accounts. They're not linked to the trust fund. They're not replacing your benefits. They're supplemental, at least for now. The worry is that they could become a model that shifts public opinion over time, making it easier to introduce privatization down the road. But as of today, no legislation has been proposed to do that. Now let's talk cause and effect. Why is this happening now? It's not just about long-term retirement security, it's also about economic adaptation. High-profile economists and tech leaders have been warning for years that AI and automation could cause mass job losses in the next decade. And if millions of people are out of work, the government will have to step in, not just with unemployment, but with ongoing income support. Enter ideas like universal basic income, guaranteed basic income, and yes, even baby savings accounts. These aren't isolated ideas. They're parts of a larger shift toward rethinking how we provide for people in a rapidly changing economy. So, where does this all go? The forecast is fairly clear. Unless Congress acts very soon, Social Security will face a funding shortfall. That doesn't mean benefits disappear overnight, but it does mean reduced payments, delayed eligibility ages, or new tax policies are likely. At the same time, new programs like these savings accounts could become the norm, especially for younger generations who won't have the same safety nets today's retirees enjoy. So, what should you take away from this? First, don't panic. If you're receiving Social Security now or within the next decade, the chances of drastic cuts are very low. Second, be aware that the system is evolving, and younger generations will likely rely more on private savings and investments than government checks. And third, start preparing now. If you're still working, consider ways to supplement your future income, whether it's investing, budgeting smarter, or staying informed.